I'm asking you to confess. How honest are you towards yourself? If you can face this question and handle your own honest opinion about yourself, then watch on ahead. But if you want to live in falsehood, then skip this video. Cheers. Hello and welcome to Sip and Talk with Vikram in a new edition of Lateral Learning. Those who are watching me for the first time or not yet subscribed, then please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified. If you are watching this video till now, then you are a brave heart who is ready to face this question. So cheers to you once again. I asked you how honest you are towards yourself. Have you ever checked the statistics of your mobile phone about how many hours per day you have spent on social media? If yes, then what is your score? Please type it into the comment box below. How many hours in a day you have spent on social media and how many hours a day you have spent on watching television? I won't be surprised if the average of your response is 5 hours or more per day. Considering that we have 24 hours in a day, each one of us has that, and out of that, we spend about 12 hours a day in sleeping, exercising, eating, and other physiological needs. Out of the remaining half, how much time should go into meaningful work and how much should be left for entertainment? Now, isn't that a glaring question right into your face? Are you now willing to accept and learn that there is a lot more time available than we think in our day to pursue purposefulness in life? And it is possible only if you can make a trade-off with the time-wasting activities. Honesty promotes openness, empowers us, and enables us to develop consistency in how we present the facts. Honesty sharpens our perceptions and allows us to observe everything around us with clarity. The youth of today are floating like a driftwood along the stream, and they are ready to go where life takes them naturally. Very few have the courage and the determination to swim upstream and reach their desired destination. It is never too late in life to plan your life ahead. You may be 15 or 50. You still have the rest of the life ahead. If we want our lives to be in a manner that we want it to be and have control over our life and situations, instead of drifting with random flow like a piece of driftwood, we must have a life plan with multiple scenarios. You should base your plans on the dreams that you have nurtured and the positive affirmations that you have supported your dreams with. Now, this plan requires execution with energized action. Action is karma, and karma is the supreme path of attainment. I hope you agree with me on that part. So, if you have a life's calling that you had ignored when you could have taken a decision or action, and you joined a rat race, as a result of which now you just have to run all your life without respite to make your ends meet. Remember, there is no age limit to when you can realize your dreams. Sometimes you can make your job, the existing job, into your calling without changing your occupation. If you realize that the work you do is more important for you than anything else, then it holds importance for you in your life. I have seen nurses performing their duties happily with pride and honor without being overwhelmed in the presence of super specialist doctors. So do not fantasize that your calling is some distant inspiration, a career you never thought about in the first place, and still ruining your present profession for the sake of your perceived lost love. Sometimes a figment of wrong imagination can land you into big trouble. If you have children, do not push them into careers that you once wished to pursue but could not. Do not sacrifice their calling and their life to living your dreams. In your time, if you miss pursuing your calling, take a strategic pause and evaluate your options. Follow your calling at any stage of life, but if you steer away into a fresh stream, please make sure that you have redrafted your alternative life plan with sound logic. So once I was conducting a seminar, I quizzed 30 participants. What would they have done and what would they have loved to be if not for what they are? Now, everybody gave an astonishing answer that they wanted to be this or that or something else than what they are at present. Not even one of them agreed that they are what they always wanted to be. So that is the general level of dissatisfaction with self. You are so unforgiving to yourself. With this kind of attitude, would you respect your work and your own worth unless you realize that this is the career you pursued and today you are what you wanted to be? Half-hearted efforts at work will drift you far from success, and life will be full of regrets. Success stories of brilliant entrepreneurs always write about their creativity and fortune, but the silent, unsung quality is that they have perseverance. The major factor of any success is determination and refusal to quit. It takes a lot of grit and grind to get there. Perseverance is the steadfastness in accomplishing something regardless of the trouble or obstacle in making progress. Students commit suicide after failure in one exam. Businessmen wind up after their first year of loss. Couples seek divorce after their first argument. And these are examples of people who were not perseverant. They gave up too soon. A loser is not one who has failed, but the one who has failed and never tried again. Endurance is tolerating the unfavorable conditions, but perseverance is the ability to keep moving through the goal despite repeated failures. Now, how does one cultivate perseverance? First, make it a habit. Whether you are a student or an executive or a businessman, set up the timetable for the time you have to devote for your work and sit at your table without diverting your mind into other matters. For a focused approach towards your work, you should have strict distance from social media and television while at work. Do it at your leisure time. But while at work, distance yourself completely from those. You have to make it your habit, and you know it that habits die hard. If you have resolved to take some exercise in the morning, just wake up with an alarm and put on your jogging shoes. Once you put on your shoes, you'll step out of the door and rest of the action will follow. So what you have to do is only just put on your shoes. That one small action will take you far. Keep encouraging yourself and keep motivating yourself. If you are a morning walker or your pedometer shows that this week you walked 500 more steps per day than last week, will it not encourage you to work on it further? Yes, it would. So count those small rewards, pat your own back, encourage yourself. Likewise, have a motivating data about your work. Keep telling yourself that if you left it in the midway, you would never see the result of it. So keep adding more efforts from time to time, because you have to reach the end of that task. Another useful hack is to jot down your hourly work progress report. No, it is not funny. You have to set up an hourly alarm and jot down what you did in the last 1 hour. This will help you analyze how much time you have utilized for useful activities and how much for the wasteful activities. Again, please be honest to yourself. Nurturing a dream, making plans for life, positive affirmations, powerful emotions, perseverance will all come to you only if you have the quest for success and excellence. If one should conduct his karma without the desire to own the fruits of karma, it is not to construe as the right to inaction. Okay, I am not craving for the fruit of action, so I will not take any action. No, that is not allowed. Here, the fruit is the consequence of the karma or the responsibility for action. You have to take that. Okay, you have to take the ownership of your work, of your action. If your karma fulfills the purpose of your life, you are not liable for the consequences, because you have done what your life required from you. Thus, if you do not desire to associate with the consequences of the karma, you still ought to have the quest for excellence and perform your duties. Now, what happens when you don't have a plan? Do you think that even if you had plans, there are supernatural forces that override you and ruin your plans and impose their own will upon you? Yeah, sometimes you feel like that. Okay, Lord Krishna said, nothing happens by chance. There is a plan. Everything that I am asking you to do is predestined by me. But in that case, you remember, if you are hungry and you sit without any action of getting food for yourself, then thinking that God will send you food because it is predestined that you shall be fed, believe me, you will perish with hunger. So nothing shall happen on its own. So let us see how to make a plan. Okay, everybody says, make a plan, have a plan. I'm going to tell you how to make a plan. Now you need to have a master plan for your entire life based on your own values. What all you value most in your life? Your career, your money, your relationship, your health. These are all, the basic foundation pillars of your life, your value systems. So have a master plan around this. Within that, you have to subdivide it into 10-year plans, 5-year plans, 1-year plan, month-wise plans, weekly plan, daily plans. Okay, so you need to have a master plan for your entire life, and now you divide this master plan into smaller plans and milestones related to your education, skill development, career, profession, home, love, family, wealth, spiritualism, and self-actualization. So now you review this plan for each milestone under distinct scenarios. That is, what is the best case scenario? If everything goes as per I want, what is the best case? And what is the most likely scenario? Okay, it may not be as good as I want, but most likely this will be the result. And what is the worst case scenario? We are seeing the worst case scenarios for the past 1.5 years. So we should have a plan for that as well. Now for each of these scenarios, you have a plan A, B, and C. Okay, so this helps you deal with the setback and gives you the vision to move on ahead without despair. Why plan A, B, and C? Suppose if plan A doesn't work, okay, then you have an alternative plan handy, and you have a worst case plan handy as well. So if you have a concrete life plan before you, You will conserve and concentrate your energy and resources upon specific actions to achieve specific goals. When plan A fails, either you move to plan B or you redesign plan A with new learnings to make it work the next time around. If your actions are with no plan, then you will end up repeating the same mistakes again and again, waste your energy and resources. This kind of knee-jerk reaction is far from wisdom. Success is the meeting point of knowledge, skill, and the opportunities passing by. Opportunities keep floating like waves of an ocean, and you ought to ride those waves like a surfer. Your knowledge enables you to recognize an opportunity, while your skill set helps you to grab that opportunity. The lack of self-belief traps us into an inferiority complex so that we stop considering ourselves worthy of that opportunity. Explore fresh opportunities and always be prepared to grab one before anyone else does. That is proactiveness. Always remember that when one door shuts, another opens somewhere else. Another important thing is to remember that you must always determine your own yardstick to measure your own success. Do not measure yourself with the yardstick of others. How can you measure the performance of a fish with the yardstick of a birds that fly? Earning more money is not success. Success is the amount of sustainable happiness you have gathered in your life. I have heard more laughter and fun from humble homes and deafening silence from wealthy mansions. Who do you think is more successful? I would love to know from you if you like the content of today's show. Please type in your comments below, and if you have any questions and suggestions, please post it into the comment box and I shall reply to you. All that I have told you today comes straight out of my own book titled as The Secrets to a Magical Life. This book went on to become Amazon's #1 international bestseller in multiple categories in USA, Canada, Australia, and #1 hot new release in the UK. You can check it out for more stuff like this. The link for this book is given in the description box below. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified. Thank you for listening. Namaste.